My name is Dino H Carter. I have a brand consultancy here in Los Angeles called Deep Branding. And like 6 months ago, I actually worked with Igrow News, and we decided to give you guys some knowledge about branding. Um, Branding is part of marketing, and it can take us weeks of understanding and going into the details. And I don't think that that is why you are here. So I will try to be very specific and brief. I have a specific list. I have been working in marketing for more than 20 years, from doing PR to Levi's through managing SpongeBob SquarePants, doing licensing for MTV Europe. I worked with Alfa Romeo, the big car manufacturer, if you know. And in the last few years, I've been working with the cannabis industry a lot. I've been working with Tikkun Olam. I don't know if you've seen the Forbes article or specific businesses go big and all the others fail. There's kind of a recipe, if you will, to succeed. And at the end of the day, mainly in the world we live in today, brand is very important to that. So I'd like to, let's start with the difference between brand and commodity. So let's take apples. Apples are commodity. You can get them wherever you want. And you decide to buy them based on the price, usually the lowest price. Those are the apples that you will buy. On the other hand, Apple, the company, is a brand. You decide to buy in spite of the price. So think why you buy that. Why, in spite of such a high price, you decide, or someone else decides to buy Apple the device. That's because of the brand. That's because Apple is a brand and apples are commodity. Now, in the world that we live in today, everything is about marketing. The product is not that important. It's said, but it's true. So why brand is so important? Because brand awareness drives sales. The more people know about you, the more equity you have, brand equity, the more positive emotions and sentiment that customers have for your brand is better for sales. You know how much a bad review on Yelp or on your website or on Amazon can bring you down. That's branding. Create the fact that people love your product or your service and they want it. That's branding. Because today, think about it, the consumers have all the power. Back in the old days, the company had all the power. But these days, there's this machine. And people are using this for everything. They search, they buy, they communicate, and that's just one finger, and that's a lot of power, and consumers know that. So if you're talking about brand awareness and sales, we can talk about customer acquisition, customer retention. Customer acquisition, you probably know, is very expensive. Customer retention, on the other hand, is much better. The ROI on it is much higher. When you work on your brand and you have brand awareness, the retention is much easier. More people would like to come back and use your service, come back and buy your new product, and of course, talk about it, review on a positive reviews, tell their friends, tell their mom, their dad, and all of that. That is why brand is so important. I call it use the brand as a management tool because everything is about the brand. The difference between brand thinking thinking and business thinking is that business thinking is all about numbers. It's all about the company. It's very egoistic in a way. Brand thinking is all about the brand, all about the consumer, all about the benefits that the brand brings the consumer. Now, there are three very important things when you build a brand: focus, differentiation, and relationships. Focus, you need to focus on a very specific customer base. A lot of my clients, one of the first questions that I actually ask is, so who's your customer? And a lot of the clients say, all of them, everybody. No, you have to focus. You can't sell to everyone because you'll find out that you sell to no one at the end. There's a ripple effect. So let's say you focus on a specific segment, others will buy as well. But if you will try to go and sell to everybody, you will probably be out of business very soon because all your marketing money, all your marketing budget and marketing activities are trying to get everyone. So you will get no one. If you're focused, you can have a very specific budget because you know where to find those people. We'll continue about that. Differentiation. In a world like today, when there is so much of the same, why you? If consumers can buy whatever they want, wherever they want, and probably in the price point that they want, so why should they buy your product or use your service or pay you money? That's a differentiation. You cannot be like the other one. If you're just like the other one, you're a commodity, and this is something completely different. For instance, okay, this is a commodity. The fact that it's huge company and the fact that we know this doesn't matter. We have no emotional connection to it. And when you work with people, there has to be an emotional impact. This is something that somewhere around 1930 in advertising, they understood that it's all about emotions. As I say, nobody buys a Lamborghini because of the technical features of the engine. There's some kind of an emotion that involves in that. And relationship, that's the third thing. Because we're talking about humans, and because we're talking about having a connection, we have to have relationships with them. The best sales managers will tell you that the best sale strategy is to create relationships. That's why we take them to dinner. That's why we take them to the NBA game. You create relationships just like that, just like with your friends and with your family, with your customer. Customer service, for instance, is something that can really help you generate those relationships. So let's start with brand definition, because there are two things that we need to define when we are building our brand or using a brand to market ourselves, to get bigger and to market in the right way. So the first thing is brand definition. The second thing is customer definition. And the first thing in brand definition is to find your value proposition. That means how you deliver value to your customers. Value can be in tangible and intangible ways. For instance, you are the only one that has this product. No one else has it. This is valuable. In today's world, it's very problematic to be the only one. So, for instance, your price. But it's not just that you are the cheapest one regarding price. The thing is that your operation is so good that you can roll a better price to your customers. That's valuable. I don't buy something cheap because it's cheap. I'm buying something cheap because the company is so good that's valuable for me. There are very intangible ways that are valuable or beneficial. I'll tell you a story. I have a friend, he left with his family to a pretty poshy, expensive neighborhood. They have money, everything is okay. They have 2 cars, the kids are, private school and all that. After a few days, my friend's wife tells him, listen, I need to buy a BMW. And he's like, but you have a huge Chevy. I mean, you have a luxury car. What's the problem with that? And then she said, all the other women in the neighborhood drives a BMW. There's no way I'm going to be the only one with a Chevy. So she wanted to feel belong. She wanted to belong to that community, to that tribe. So the benefit is that she wanted to belong. Think about it. Prius, for instance. People who buy Prius don't buy just because it's electrical and it saves money and it saves the planet. They buy it because they want to feel that they actually save the planet. That's an intangible benefit. We always want to feel good about ourselves. So you need to think how your product or service help your specific customer base feel better about themselves. Feel better about themselves so much that they will continue buy from you. They will always like you. They have a relationship, an emotional connection. The second thing is brand story. If the value proposition was how you bring value, the story is why. Why your brand or why your business or company exists. Why did you start the business? What's the purpose? For instance, when Google started and they were just a search engine, but a really good search engine. Their purpose, the why, was that they wanted to be helping people all over the world find whatever they need in the fastest way on the internet. Their purpose was to be the best search engine and helping people, okay? So if you think, how am I going to find my story? Because sometimes the only thing you think about is why I started this business. I wanted to make money. Google wanted to make money too. But you have to have something deeper. People believe that the brand has the same beliefs they do, and that's why they trust the brand. If you have a brand story, if you have a purpose, you can build trust. And when you can build trust, you can build relationships. And when you have relationships, you have growth. So think, what is that thing? For instance, let's say that you have a special secure mattress system for kids. So the purpose is to empower parents to feel that they are securing their kids, that they are good parents. There's a flow here, there's a story here, there's purpose, there is something more than making money. You're making money out of those security for kids, but it's all to empower parents. You want to make the parents feel that they are good parents because they are all about their kids' safety. Now, the most important thing when you're defining a brand is finding the brand personality. When you build a brand, it's like building an avatar, building a human in a way. The best way to start thinking about this personality, I mean, this is something that I do a lot with clients. I ask them, if you were, the brand, If the brand was a weather, what kind of weather it was. Is it sunny? Super sunny, fun day? Hot day? Maybe it's rainy but comfy in front of the TV day. This starts to, because you have to start and think in intangible ways when you build this personality. So think about it. Is the brand female, male, young, old? If the brand would have a car, what kind of a car the brand drives? Maybe it doesn't drive a car at all. Maybe a bicycle. What kind of bicycles? Is it like cool urban BMX or mountain bicycles? Or maybe one of those hipster, cool, super stylish, teal colored bicycles? All those things will help you understand what the brand is. What is the brand's personality? What are the values that the brand believes in? What the brand stands for. You see Nike, now you see all the other companies trying to be political and have really deep values. When it's not real, it doesn't work. Just like in Gillette's. Gillette tried to find values that are not correlated with their core customer base. And that's why this commercial really didn't work. Nike, on the other hand, showed that they have values that really works and really resonates with their customer base. That's why the stock got up so high. 42 hours later, the sales were skyrocketing because everything has to be aligned, which brings us to customer definition. The first thing is that you have a lot of customers. You need to find what is that customer base that is. For instance, if you sell something for the garden and from researchers, you see that it's more of a female-based, 70-30, female and male, forget about the males. Your customer is a female. You have to talk in terms that are good for her. Even though you have males that buy your products, but 70% are female. So your customer is a female. Why they buy it? Not only because of the features. What I do a lot, and as business owner, you can do that, is you think of the reason why they buy it. What are the benefits? And you do the so what test. So I sit with the managers and I ask them, so what is the benefit and why should someone buy your product? And then the manager says, it's more efficient. So what? Every other company says that it's more efficient as well. What is the benefit? You will clean better with my product. So what? This didn't pass the so what test because every other company, the competition says the same thing. So you need to find what is the reason that your customer should buy what you're selling them. Usually, it's something emotional. It's something about themselves. We buy things because the fact that we use or have it says something about us. Just like we talked before with Apple. And you probably heard the word demographics. Up until really recently, people were defining the customer by demographics, where they live, how much money they have, gender, and age. People are still doing that. Companies are still doing that. But if you will do only that, again, you're wasting marketing budget. You need to narrow it down. You need to focus. So you know where they live, you know their gender, but think about it. We are living in a time when we have many generations that live together. So we have the baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, millennials, and Gen Z, and they all consumers. Now, you can sell a product or a service that a 72-year-old and a 20-year-old want to buy, and they have the same reason to buy that. So if you go only by demographics, you will lose something. So instead of that, go with psychographics. The reason why. If they all have the reason why, and that is what you communicate in your marketing activities, then you will get all of them with the same buck. Instead of, okay, I have only this, I have only that amount of money, I will go to the millennials, to the 20-year-old. Yeah, but what with the 70-year-old? What with the 50 years old? If you go with the reason why, not only you saving money and you focus on that, you immediately go to the emotional level because you answer their pain point. You answer their need. All of them has the same need because they have the same reason why. So if you find that need and you find that you answer that need, nobody cares if they're a man or a woman, if they're 20, 22, if they live in Ohio or in Hollywood. They will use it because you communicated and market the right thing, helping them with their pain point, answer their need. So there are three things that really helps. I call it the holy trio, the three questions that you need to ask yourself. One of them is, what am I selling? Who I sell it to, and why they should buy it. If you can't answer all those three questions, you will not be able to sell the right way. You will try too much. You will have to use your marketing budget to try more and more. And this will not work. And another thing is, and then we talk about it, and another thing that you need to remember, and again, this is very focused. This is something that you can start implementing tomorrow in your marketing or managers team, or even right now, start to think yourself about your brand, is that you have to align the brand personality, the customer personality, and the brand benefits, which means the benefits that the brand brings to the customer. If all those three, your persona, the brand persona, the customer persona, and the benefits are aligned, everything will be much, much easier. Don't try to think about the features. Again, nobody buys a Harley Davidson because it's a great motorcycle. They buy Harley Davidson because it says something about them, because it helps them feel in a specific way. So always think emotions and what is the benefit that you give them, what need, what they want to feel that you help them feel. The last thing is to deliver, which means not actual delivery, but to deliver on your promise, to deliver on your values. Let's say that your value is efficiency because it correlates with the customer, their need, and the brand. But your customer service is very inefficient. Whenever someone calls the company to ask a question, you put them on hold for 20 minutes. This is not efficient. You have to be efficient all the way. You have to go with the brand DNA all the way. All of this makes lots of clarity. and focus to your activities. And that's what you need, clarity and focus. This will save you money. This will save you time. Whenever a magazine calls you and tells you, hey, have an ad campaign with us. If this magazine doesn't correlate with your brand DNA, with your brand personality, with your customer definition, you know that you shouldn't give them your money. And it doesn't matter what the price is, because you will take the money and put it in the right magazine. So this is branding one-on-one. Again, very focused. If you have questions, you can write on the chat. Let me check something here.